Yeah, he's supposed to come another drencher. Are you just an assisting her today, or you learning?
I'm the X-ray tech. She's a student. Learning.
Okay, she's a student.
Uh-huh.
Can I tell both of you my history a little bit real quick?
Sure. Uh-huh.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was born in Indianapolis, Illinois, with a polycystic kidney. I don't know what that means. I guess it was
Is
deformed,
that like?
dysfunctional, something.
Yeah.
But in 1961, to have an operation on an infant was like almost unheard of.
Yeah.
But they went ahead and with a lot of prayer at St. Teresa's Hospital, and I come through. Matter of fact, it was so severe that my parents didn't even want to take me home because they didn't want to become too attached to me, and thinking that it would even be tougher for them to get over the operation. So God had His hand on me, and we was living in Round Lake, Illinois. Stuck some keys into an electrical socket and got almost electrocuted to death. Fuse box downstairs blowed up. I walked around with the impression of keys in my hand for about a month. I tasted copper in my mouth for about a month. We moved from that area down to Tennessee, Northwest Tennessee, Lincoln County, and that's where I had basically created a name for myself for being accident prone.
Yeah.
An accident waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I understand.
Fell out the back of the pickup truck, doing about 60 miles an hour. I was about 12 years old, and put me in a coma, broke my left arm, broke my left collarbone. And then later on that fall, we was hauling hay at the end of the summer, and I had a load of hay fall on top of me, broke my left arm. So that made twice it broke. Tonsils removed at the age of 13. They busted loose, almost bled to death. Had to go back and get re-sewed back up.
Oh my goodness. Bless your parents' heart.
Yeah. And then I started working in construction, and I fell off of a beam at A.O. Smith Building in Milan, where the crane gave way, and it was stabilizing the steel that I was walking on, and all of a sudden, basically, it just left underneath my feet.
Wasn't nothing you could do.
Well, I had a stinger in my hand, a welding stinger, and I tried to grab a hold of a beam on the way down, and I hit it. I didn't judge it just right on my hands, and it hit right in here, and it broke both arms. Sure did.
Is that when you fell?
That's when I fell and
Yeah.
crushed both ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in 1983, this was in 1979, so I'm still in the process of healing up, right? I'm driving a 1979 Buick Regal. Still parking around up underneath the seat that it shouldn't be. Next thing you know, I drive off into a ravine, total out my car, and I get out of the car. My dad was very abusive. He was a World War II drill sergeant. He was not only verbally abusive, but also physically abusive too. And I felt a pity party for myself. I got out and I said, "You cursed me, God. You have cursed me. You have brought a curse into my life." And I blame God for everything that had ever happened in my life. After about 30 minutes, I got over the pity party. I went about a mile and a half where I was living and got an 806 International tractor to come pull me out, which that was successful in pulling me out because I had to hurry up because I didn't have a driver's license.
Oh yeah, you didn't want cops coming.
Didn't want the cops coming, right? Well, in the process of pulling me out, you saw mud all over the windshield, which didn't help whenever I hit the windshield wiper, and it went like this, and the container with all the liquid in it is gone. So now the windshield is just solid mud, and I'm thinking to myself, how in the blue blazes am I going to be able to see out the daggone car while he's dragging me back to my house, to my dad's house? And I had a brainstorm. Oh, brainstorm! Roll the window down while the car's running. That way you can operate the steering wheel. Put your feet where you ordinarily sit. Put your hiney up on top of the window. My right arm was up on top of the car, and my left arm was back here. And here we go down the road
And
doing
you
about
fell out.
25 miles an hour. No, worse. We started going down an incline, and I didn't notice that the automobile started rolling faster than the tractor.
And you didn't have your feet on the brakes.
I didn't have my
Oh,
feet on
no.
the brakes, and all of a sudden the bumper caught one of the big knobby tires and literally drug the car up on top, and it almost knocked the guy on the tractor off. It almost damaged him, but it didn't. Fortunately, it didn't. He had just enough time to realize what was going on. He hit the brake, hit everything, and stopped it. Well, by that time, the vehicle that got slung up now had broken loose, and now gravity is taking over, because as it was doing this, it was turning.
Oh, no.
Well, guess which position it was turning in? The position that I was still on this window. I literally seen my whole life flash in front of me. I thought I was going to die. I literally thought that this was it. And I cried out, "Oh God, help me." And two hands miraculously come out of heaven, out of nowhere. And the fingers was extremely, extremely cold. But I felt those hands grab a hold of my wrist, and as the spirit entered into my body, I looked up at a 4,000-pound automobile. About the time that my back hit the asphalt, and I looked up, and here comes this car. Boom! Right on top of my torso. But I've seen metal bending around my torso that is scientifically impossible. The car should have cut me in half. The boy jumps off the tractor, he pushes the car up, got a lot of adrenaline going. I dragged myself out from underneath the car. He looks at me and said, "Are you hurt?" I said, "Yeah." So by the time the ambulance gets out there, which takes about 20-25 minutes, they got to me and I was unconscious. Of course, they felt me and they looked at me. Well, we don't see no lacerations on him, no broken bones. Everything seems to be mechanically sound. Let's go ahead and take him on in for just to be sure. On the way to Martin Hospital, I flatlined. All that pressure had come down on my stomach, and it busted my spleen. And I was bleeding internally, and nobody could have seen it. There wasn't no mark, other than a little bit of red mark with an actual metal hit over my torso. They rushed me into the hospital. All my veins had collapsed. They couldn't find no veins. Couldn't find no veins at all. So they cut down by my leg right here, and they found that main vein going up into your leg, and they started pumping blood back up into me. And I woke up about maybe 30 minutes later, laying on a gurney like that, and the doctor looking at me saying, "Boy, we almost lost you." He said, "You got a problem in here. We need to fix you." He said, "I don't know if you're going to make it." He said, "You probably need to make your last willing testimony before God." So, I prayed. And woke up about 5 or 6 hours later with a big tube down my throat where they cut me open from skin to stern. Went in and physically removed all that out of the way and basically removed my spleen. And while they was in there, they went in and removed my kidney. And then they sewed me back up with 64 big, wide freaking staples. I ain't never seen staples that wide that probably sunk into your skin, probably about a quarter of an inch on each side. And they was pulling all that skin together. I get, do they do the same thing on a woman on a cesarean birth?
I don't think they do nowadays.
Really?
I don't remember having.
But now I got a scar here, and I got a scar here from the one whenever I was only 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
From getting a kidney removed.
Yeah.
The damnedest thing about all that is that 2 weeks after that, my doctor committed suicide. I had nowhere to go other than to go back to my parents' house. My father was very, very abusive to begin with. He allowed for the devil to enter into him, and he almost tried to kill me while I still had to step for something down my belly. And if it wasn't for his brother that was in the house that day that drug him off of me, he could have possibly finished me up.
Yeah.
Whenever the devil is after you, and the devil knows that you have a purpose, all this BS that people would tell you about the superstitious stuff, that no bad luck ever happens to good people, about the black cat and all this other stuff, that's a bunch of bull argument. Because you can look at the Bible and look at people that come out of the Bible, and most of them suffered tremendously in their lives because of just that very reason. The devil knew that God had a certain particular purpose for that person, and the devil was trying any and everything that he could to stop that person from fulfilling that purpose.
Yeah, things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
You said you fell out of a car. One of my friends house when she passed away. She got out of the car.
Was it Greenfield?
No, it's here in Paris.
Up here in Paris?
Oh, they did have it recently in Greenfield, yeah.
There was another one where a
Yep.
girl fell out of a
Remember
car.
telling you about
They were
that?
just clowning around, just being kids. And as soon as her head hit the asphalt, it split it open. Sure did.
Yep.
But something else occurred that I didn't get injured by, physically injured, but it did emotionally injure me. Is that I was like 14 or 15 years old, and I wanted these 50, 40 chickens, but I had to go to Redskins, Tennessee to pick them up. Of course, I don't have no driver's license, so my brother got assigned to go and pick me up in Sharon School whenever the school last bell rung, to pick me up and take me to Dresden. And while I was in, I can't remember if it was English class or science class, but I remember his spirit come by me, and it was so powerful that it got my attention to the point that wow, what was that? Whenever I went outside waiting for my brother, I said, my brother didn't know this now. And he explained to me that my brother was on his way to go to his car because he'd been on his off-road motorcycle, and he must have let time get away from him a little bit, so he was trying to hump and bump, turning out and going back to the car to pick me up to go get the chickens, and a 806 International tractor pulled out in front of him right there in the center of Sidonia. He smacked it. 3 days later, he was dead. No helmet. Split his skull open, swelled up real bad right here back in the back, and sent him to Memphis. Done 4 EEGs on him totally, and every one of the EEGs was zero.
That's sad. I'm sorry about that.
I went into that hospital room, you know, after us making the decision that we was gonna pull the plug as a boy, and I come out as a man.
Yeah.
And plus I had to walk around with the guilt of that, towards thinking to myself, you know, wow, that he was on his last assignment with me, going and doing something for me. And it took me a while to finally figure out, but you didn't have nothing to do with that, you know? But I still walk around with a guilt trip for many, many years about that, because that kind of, that affected me.
I can understand that.
It
yeah.
really did, it affected me.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me tell my story.
You're very welcome.
Hey, one other thing I
Thank
wanted to
you.
discuss with you real quick, I'm finding out, because we being a diabetic and everything, I also take, a drug called, Animal, that
Yes.
helps keep you alert,
Yes.
when people go to sleep and stuff like that. And, I went to fill it, and, they couldn't fill the parcel of it.
There's a shortage of it. My son's on it. And there's
Well,
a shortage.
really?
Uh-huh.
Not only is there a shortage of that, there's a shortage of oxycontin, there's a shortage of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Hoses, everything. The medical industry right now is suffering worse than it ever has right now. Towards a lot of defects, either in the equipment or the stuff ain't coming in like it should.
Yeah.
So my question is this: if we're already starting to see that now, 3 to 6 months from now, all these people that are Looney Tunes, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but the people that got
That really
seriously are mentally touched in the head, and if they're not on their medication because they can't get their medication, what's going to happen?
No, I'm scared to even think about it.
Yeah, I don't even wanna think about it, really.
What's going to happen?
Just pray.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That in and of itself could become a epidemic,
Oh, yeah.
especially if they couldn't provide the medication to help simmer these people down, because that's basically the reason why that they're on that medication, is because they couldn't simmer themselves down. They had to have something to simmer them down for.
That's right. Yeah, I agree with you.
That's a scary thought.
It is.
In addition to the people that won't be able to get medication that may end up dying because they need it.
The little ones today, I don't even know what kind of world they're gonna live up, be raised up.
It's going to be horrifying. It's going to be horrifying, absolutely horrifying. Listen, thank y'all for x-raying me, and thank you for listening to my testimony.
You're very welcome.
You probably hear different
No,
tales.
I have never heard a tale like that before.
Have
Bless
you
your
not?
heart. I'm so glad
I'm
you're
like,
still
I'm
upright
like,
and breathing.
I'm like Evil Knievel. I've been broken up and been up and damaged, and
Yeah,
course
but
I-
you're okay now.
well, I am to a certain degree. I mean,
Yeah.
those scars, regardless whether it's physical scars or emotional scars, they're still scars. Scars don't really never heal up completely, just learn to live with them. All right.
Just take a bite out that glass door.
Thank you, ma'am, and happy holidays to you.
You too.